Welcome to the Horror Friendly Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Horror Friendly Podcast, part of the You Run Podcast Network. My name is Katie, and I am joined by Chantal for our final episode of season 9. Hi, Chantal.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We were just saying we're both really cold, so I'm like in my Udi blanket wrapped up.
I know. It's like a cozy episode this week because it's just fucking freezing in the UK.
Yeah, if you see like air coming out of our mouths, we're fine. We swear we're fine. The amount of clips I keep seeing where it's like Canadians who've like immigrated to England and they're like, the fuck is wrong with your temperature? Why is it so much colder here? And it's like, no, it's still in the positive numbers.
Yeah.
But they're like, I'm used to like -30 and this is worse. And everyone keeps complaining, like, apparently it is like, it gets in your bones. And then they're like, this is why they all drink tea. So they can actually hold something warm. That's what
Yeah, like I think like the UK cold hits differently to other colds. Like also we're just like not prepared for any weather. Like when we had snow, like a tiny bit of sleet a couple of weeks ago, we just weren't prepared for that at all.
No, we never are. But I love explaining that we explained it to like an American who's over at the moment. Oh, they were like, how are you guys not? We're like, because it lasts for 6 hours to a day. There's no point us putting the effort in. Like, just shut the school for the day. It'll be fine. They'll be back in school in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like it's literally not worth us putting anything into solving this.
No, it's really not. It's really not. But anyway.
But we also don't deal with heat either, so we're not a very
we don't. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, I know. We're not very good with anything, really, are we? It's a bit pathetic, really.
Humor. We're pretty good at humor, and that's about it.
Yeah, not bad at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything else pretty shit.
Pretty fucking shit, really.
On that lovely note, delightful note.
But on a very un-English film, this week for our final episode, we have decided to cover Tucker and Dale versus Evil. This is a 2010 horror comedy. Tucker and Dale decide to go on a vacation to their cabin in the mountains. Their vacation takes a nasty turn when they are mistaken for chainsaw killers by a group of college students. Katie, what did you think of this one?
It's so good. I think it's such a really it's such a funny idea for a horror film. It's funny that like no one ever like thought of it before. Like it seems like kind of an obvious thing to do. But yeah, I watched this ages ago. So to be fair, when I watched it again for the podcast, like I didn't really remember any of it. So it was really nice. It sort of felt like I was coming in for the first time. Yeah, it's such a good film. I mean, what's not to like about it? What did you think?
Similar actually. Our friend recommended it to us ages ago. So we'd watched it and we were just like, this is fucking genius. How has no one thought of it before? Because it is just flipping the genre on its head in the best fucking way. But then also, but that doesn't always work because as we knew from we covered it not long ago. Man walking through the woods, they swapped the perspective.
Oh, In a Violent Nature.
Yes, thank you. Where they swapped the perspective, but I think because this way went comedy with it, and it just had all, it had the classic slasher tropes that it just works. And it's really well cast, I think. Yeah, I think it's just fucking great. And it is, you are laughing and you're like, this is a black comedy because you are laughing at like points. And you're like, this shouldn't be as funny as it is. Yeah, I think it's really well done. And I think it's really good fun. But yes, I also didn't realize until I was doing some research for this that Eli Craig, the director, it was like his debut film.
Oh wow, okay.
Right? What a fucking film to come in with, like knock it out of the park. Just retire. Retire with 100% amazing film. Like, what a fucking win.
That's fucking great. Do you know what else he's been in? Has he directed anything else?
Or? So he's done Little Evil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Zombieland.
Oh wow, okay. Pretty good TV then.
Okay, well I'll take you back. Maybe you should have kept going because I did quite enjoy Little Evil, but I way prefer Zombieland. It's so good. Although now I've said that, there is another film that he was listed, The Tao of Pong, but that was a short, so I don't know if that's kind of why they've separated it to be like his first feature length. But yeah, so something else called Brothers and Sisters, which was a TV series, but I don't think we had that. Never heard of that. But yeah, so yeah, I did one episode on that. But I just thought that was really interesting. That like, what a one to come in with.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, what a way to start. Because I think generally this film went down pretty well. Like I think it got generally good reviews. I think like a lot of people, like a lot of horror fans do talk about it to this day. So I think it has had an effect on people. But it was funny because he obviously, the director was quite a big fan of horror films.
Yeah.
And you could kind of tell because there was so much influence in there. Like he was saying, like The Cabin, he based around like Wrong Turn and Evil Dead, and you can really tell.
But I love it when they get to the cabin and Tucker and Dale are just like, oh my God, this is ours. And like, they're so excited to have like their little piece. And it's so sweet because again, like that typical idea that, oh, well, they're hillbillies. So they're obviously going to live in like, in shitty. And it's like, no, they're actually there to like make it nice and build it up. But they're so excited. I just thought it was so cute.
Yeah, it was really cute. And it was like, yeah, I think like Tucker had put like all of his like money into this cabin and doing it up. So it was like a really like bonding sesh for them to like do it up in the summer, go fishing. Like it actually sounds like a really cool, like nice thing to do with your friends.
I love it later on when he's like, we didn't have to go fishing. That was never an option.
Well, you know what, Tucker? None of this would have happened if we hadn't have gone fishing. That isn't even an option.
Like that had to happen. That
like,
had to happen, guys.
Even if all of the deaths had happened first, we were going fishing. I was like,
yes,
brilliant.
Yeah,
really cracked me up.
But it was funny because the director was like the whole kind of reason that he wanted to make this film was because he'd like obviously grown up watching The Hills Have Eyes and Wrong Turn and Texas Chainsaw, and all it was kind of a theme that all the kind of hillbillies would be the baddies. So he kind of wanted to turn it on its head, which is such a fun idea because it makes it so much funnier that everything looks like they've committed the crimes as well. Like it's just so funny. Like everything they do is just the most unlucky. It's the most unlucky circumstances ever.
I love that they're perceived as like almost so innocent that they're like, oh my God, this must be a suicide pact, rather than there's no way these guys could possibly be trying to hurt us. Like they don't for a second think that they're trying to hurt them. They never think until like way later, they don't think they're bad people. They just think, oh no, they're having a really bad time and it's a suicide pact. Which is just like, it's like the bit where he's being chased by the bees. And he's like, your friend must have an allergy or something. Like there was always an explanation as to their weird behavior. And it was never that they were malicious. And I just thought that was so adorable.
It was so adorable. And like when they, oh my God, what's her, it was Ali. Yeah, Ali, Allison. When they like got her out of the lake and they were like, yeah, we've got your friend. And they were like, oh my God, they've kidnapped Allison. No.
Ah, we got your friend! Oh God! They got Allison!
So they put it on the tree and it's like, we've got your friend. They're like, no, this is a threat. Like, it's absolutely not. And they're just trying to carving into wood and it's not efficient. But yeah, it just cracks me up.
Yeah. I think it's just so clever the way it has all those typical horror tropes. But they've obviously, the whole idea of it is just like something that's never been done before, but they've managed to like add in all of the classic cabin in the woods kind of horror themes. And I think it's fun. It was great. Like I think it was very much like Cabin in the Woods in that sense, where it's very self-aware and like satirical, but like just really clever at the same time.
Yeah, it literally had everything. It had the like flashback to this is the original killer,
the camp story.
Yeah, the connection to the original story. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, it had a little bit of everything.
Going to the gas station.
Yeah, the gas station, of course. But I love as well, like there was the bit of, again, like Back to the Bees where they're running through the woods. That's always a classic, like where they're trying to get away and run through the woods. Skinny dipping. Like they literally managed to hit everything. But I love as well that they flipped it so much on its head that you had Chad, who was just like the worst fucking human.
Yeah.
But normally, obviously, he'd be like the jock and the hero, and now he was just an absolute piece of shit. But he was a piece of shit from like the get-go.
You and I, Allie, are cut from a different cloth.
Like he was never,
Mm.
it wasn't just like, oh, he's in a stressful situation. He was just a piece of shit.
Yeah, there was never any like redeeming quality about him whatsoever. Like he
No.
was a dickhead from, yeah, as you say, from the beginning.
Yeah, he just thought he owned Allison, and that was really fucked
Yeah.
up. Like,
And it's funny that you say that about him being a jock, because like even if he was a nice jock or whatever, like he would have died at some point, and then Alison would have obviously been the final girl if
yeah,
it was a normal thing. But obviously they mixed it up even more by like giving the jock more of a backstory and like having him be one of the main characters of the film. Like that doesn't normally happen. Normally the jock's kind of gets to the end and then dies, and or is just there and then kind of dies early on. Whereas they gave him like one of the biggest, well, the biggest story in the film kind of thing.
no, yeah, no, that's true actually. And then Dale is like our leading romance man, and like so not your typical leading man.
No. Oh, he's like a little bear.
He is really sweet. Like, I love the bit where he walks in with the pancakes and she starts screaming. And again, like, he's so innocent. He does not think anything about what he's doing could be construed as scary. So he's just like, "Oh, you must hate pancakes. I'm so sorry," and runs away. I'm like,
Oh, it's the pancakes. You hate pancakes. I'm gonna make you something else. I'll just.
and it's not till she starts asking questions. He's like, "Oh yeah, you need answers." I was like, this poor bastard is genuinely just the nicest guy and just doesn't realize how creepy
he doesn't get it.
any of it is.
No. I was surprised how like quickly Ali was okay with all of it though. Like I'm not sure if I was in her situation, I would suddenly be like, okay, I've had a few answers, I'm fine now. I think I'd still be like, what's going on here? Like I'm gonna go. Like
It's really hard, isn't it? Actually, yeah, because if you've just had a concussion and you nearly drowned, and someone's like, "We had to save you because your friends bailed," or if your friends weren't there, but like some random people, and then you wake up in their cabin, you kind of have got to trust what they're saying.
yeah.
But I guess she wasn't tied up. I think his reaction with the pancakes probably put her at ease, and also I'm gonna say like the dog being like such a softie probably helped, because if the owners were meaner, the dog would be meaner.
That's
So,
true.
So I think there's probably, a few things that helped her soften a bit quicker.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, good point. I think, yeah, that's true. And also he was just a cutie all round, so I'm sure.
he just, he just did it the right way, where he was like, do you want to play a ball game? Do you want to like go for a walk? Like he was giving her the choice and being a real sweetie.
Yeah. Yeah, he was cute.
What a green flag man.
I know, so he is such a green flag man. I think as well, because they would debate, I think the director was saying he was debating about giving like Tucker or Dale the kind of main part, like to, fall in love with the main girl and things like that. But they wanted to give it to more of like the lesser kind of character, like the one that's kind of a bit more stupid and a bit more clumsy, because they have typically more of the role of like the sidekick. So it was like, no, let's give it to this, give the hot girlfriend to this guy.
I liked that, yeah, because as you say, like you could see it with Tucker, like he was already very confident. Like Dale was obviously the one who needed like the coaching through life. Although it turned out he didn't really. He just always, like you say, had always been the psychic. So actually, once he was able to kind of be on his own, he was fine. But I liked that Tucker didn't have it, just easy and like, oh, I'm gonna. But again, it's like when he's giving the advice, and it's terrible advice, like, oh, go up there and laugh and smile, like it shows confidence, and then he's there with the fucking Grim Reaper Skeith, what it's called, like just like freaking everyone out, and it's like,
yeah, well, that's the beauty of it. I think like they're just kind of as dumb as each other, but like Tucker is slightly more kind of with it. Like Dale will listen to absolutely anything that he'll say, but even Tucker's kind of like he doesn't really know either. They're both kind of just winging it.
Yeah, he's only smart because he bosses Dale around.
Yeah,
like you can't have my beer. Stand up for yourself. I was like, for fuck's sake. But yeah, no, I did. What did you think of the friends, like the friend group?
I thought they were kind of interesting. You obviously had the kind of stereotypical ones in there, like the sort of geeky, smart ones, and like the dumb blonde, and then obviously the jock. So you had a few in there, and then with a couple of extras.
Yeah.
I thought, I thought they were good all round. Yeah, I thought they were okay. I mean, they kind of did the job of being killed off, really. But I also feel like it was slightly more. I mean, obviously, it is a lot more than a slasher, but it was for them as well. Like they had a lot more lines and dialogue, and you kind of got to know the characters a little bit more
True.
than maybe you would in a slasher. They were just kind of there to be killed off. Whereas in this film, I thought maybe, you know, they kind of have a bit more of a personality and you can kind of get to know them slightly more.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you think?
I don't know, like I think like yeah, so although like you say they had more lines, they had more personality, I think the girls were made out to just be a bit dumb and like they would, oh, we're just scared they're gonna run away and we're just a bit stupid. Like I don't know, like it just seemed a little bit damsel in distressy, which was a bit weird considering they needed to live to go and find the sheriff and everything. Although saying that, they were never
True.
actually in any danger. So I guess
Yeah.
they could be a little bit more extra because nothing was going to happen. But I don't know, they just seemed a bit, yeah. And then I think the guys as well, like they weren't really that well rounded. But as you say, because in a slasher you wouldn't really round everyone out because they're there to die.
Yeah.
So I do think, yeah, they did kind of fit in with those sort of stereotypes. It was just seeing a lot of the dumb blonde. I was like, really? Like you couldn't have gone for. I suppose Alison was meant to be the book smart final girl.
Yeah.
And I was like, but you could have, given him a little bit more or a different personality. Throw a goth in there for God's sake. Like.
Yeah, that would have been quite good. Like throw like an emo in there or something. That would have been pretty funny.
That might have no. But yeah, I did my other one complaint, and I don't know why, but was it a fashion thing? Like Alison, when she comes out in her own clothes, but her jeans are like completely undone for half the film.
Yeah, I didn't really get that. I think it was like meant to be, I don't know, like yeah, definitely a fashion choice, but I didn't really get it.
No, because I was like, is it that hot that you can't even like they're your jeans? Like they fit. Why are they not done? Also, how did they get her jeans? Because she fell in the lake in a bikini or underwear, whichever it was. But anyway, they were her jeans, so they fit, but she just didn't do them up. And I was like, well, especially later in the film when she's like running and trying to survive, I was like, this is so impractical. How have your trousers not fallen down? Like,
yeah, it was kind of weird. Like it was a strange outfit.
yeah, and then she's there like, oh, I grew up on a farm. I can get my hands dirty. I'm a tough girl. And I'm like, your trousers, you couldn't do your fucking trousers up, but you think you can build an outhouse? Like, and it's just one of those where I'm like, it was very obviously just to make her look sexy. I'm like, oh, look, show off her abs. And don't be wrong, if I had those abs, I would show them off. But like, I got why they did it, but I was like, but you didn't need to do it. That again, that's just making her look like a dumb blonde. And oh yeah, she's only here to be the sex symbol. So for fuck's sake, let her do her trousers up.
Yeah, yeah. I think as well, it was kind of like an exaggerated outfit though. I think maybe they did that on purpose, where it was kind of a bit much. Like her trousers like were done up. She was wearing like a crop top. Like it seemed like maybe it was trying to show that she was like the hot one, but as you say, also book smart and kind and like, good for a final girl. But maybe the outfit was kind of a bit like over exaggerated.
She's the whole package.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was that because they were like doing the stereotypes. So maybe they were like, we're just gonna run and go really far.
We're just gonna make her look like ridiculous in terms of
But I was like, if you're gonna do that, they should have just kept her in his oversized shirt and had her running around in like, do you know what I mean? I was like, instead of putting her in jeans.
Yeah.
Her own anyway, I'm gonna shut up about the jeans because I'm just
I know what you mean. Like maybe they wanted her to look kind of like sexy farm girl sort of vibe.
Yeah, but again, that was it. I was like, if she'd been digging the pit and was like, oh, I'm really hot, and then like undone them to like because she didn't have shorts.
Yeah.
She like just came out in the morning. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. What did you make of the whole like jock backstory thing? Did you like that?
Yeah, I kind of did. I think I was gonna say a bit cliche, but again, it's kind of satire, so it's fine. And he was like, oh, his mum was in a mental institute. kept saying something about his mum about like how great she was, but obviously she was killed by hillbillies, so he hates hillbillies.
Yeah.
To then find out, obviously his dad was one of them, and I think again that took it to such another level where it was like, actually, your dad raped your mum, and I was like, okay, Chad's a piece of shit, but that's got to be really fucking hard to find out.
Yeah, that's true. That was quite like that was surprisingly dark, I think, for the film. That they
Considering
went with
like,
that.
we've literally been joking about suicide. We really need to put a trigger warning in, but considering the film is like joking about suicide, and then they
Yeah.
put that in, and then it's like, oh, that's a bit.
Yeah, it
It
seemed
just
like
went a
it kind
different
of
way.
yeah, it did go a different way than I remembered, and it was like quite a big tone change.
Yeah.
Like although it did carry on with like the comedy and the action and kind of like that kind of vibe, but finding that out just kind of made it surprisingly dark.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, and I'm not saying
Mm.
it was wrong, but again, it's one of those where like, yeah,
No,
it just seemed out of nowhere, and then it was like, okay, and then we carried on.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't necessarily wrong. Like it was a good backstory for this like bad guy to have,
Mm.
but it just kind of I felt like maybe it didn't quite match the tone of the film.
That was exactly it. But I thought it was
Sorry, no.
I thought it was nice though to give him that like that twist, that extra depth. Because again, I guess if it was a typical slasher, there does seem to be like, you know, the story of Jason or whatever, there is always a darker thing, like a child death. Or
Mm.
Freddy was a pedo who got like burned. Like there does tend to be a darker reason
Yeah, that's a good point.
that they're, you know, fucked up and psychos. So I do think from that perspective it kind of worked.
That's actually a really good point.
But again, as
Yeah.
you say, didn't quite match the tone though.
Yeah, no, that's valid. I think maybe because this was like a standalone film, maybe like I recognized it more. But if it
Yeah.
was like a franchise, like maybe Freddy is or whatever, then you kind of don't uh pick it, you don't pick it up as much. Like you don't think about Freddy's backstory every single time you're watching the film. But yeah, that's a good point. I think every single horror film comes from a dark place. So yeah, maybe it was meant to be there. It just kind of took me aback a bit, like the
Yeah.
backstory. I was kind of like, whoa, where did that come from?
It also was one of those where I was like, yeah, again, I don't know if they could have gone a different way where actually he knew his dad was a hillbilly, but he like was like, oh, but he ditched out, which is why I hate hillbillies. But
Yeah, I think maybe that would have been that would have been quite funny, or like
Mm.
that his dad just grew up a hillbilly or something, and then like his mum they split up or something. Like it might not
yeah,
have been as good, but it would have been quite funny. Like, oh,
yeah,
I'm actually half hillbilly and I hate it, and this is
I hate
why.
that.
Yeah, like maybe that would have been a bit more funnier, but as you say, like it is, although it's like a comedy, it is still a horror film. So
I think you have hit the nail on the head. It was just tone change, but not completely out of place for a horror.
no,
Um,
no, it wasn't.
Yeah. Sorry, I feel like I'm just repeating myself today. But it was as well when she like had the newspaper and she was like, "You're a half hillbilly, you're a dad," like just like shouting all the facts at him.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you trying to wind him up? Are you like, is it just like all or nothing right now? Like, are we just gonna, yeah. I just thought it was funny because I was
I
like, it's not
know.
even like breaking the news to him easy. It's like, yeah,
it's just like we're gonna give
Yeah.
you these details.
it's like your dad raped your mum, your dad was a hillbilly, you're half hillbilly. And I was like, fucking hell, that's a lot of information for this guy to take in like 10 seconds. Like, and again, he was a piece of shit, but that's still really like a lot of information to find out and ingest.
It is, yeah. It was quite intense, to be fair. So yeah, but
But he did not treat women well at all. So, like father,
he
like
did
son, I
not.
guess.
Exactly.
Oh, I hate the
Um,
bit where he like forces a kiss on Alison. It's fucking horrible.
Oh, that's gross. Yeah, because he's got the sort of like Harvey Dent Two-Face thing going on with his like burnt
That's the
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, next time, I can't remember what he says, but like, do it better, kiss me nicer or something. And I was like,
Yeah,
"Ugh."
something.
I was like, she
But
doesn't want to kiss you. Stop it.
no. And it kind of like the beginning bit sort of foreshadows that as well. Like when he's talking to Alison and he tries to kiss her and she's like, no. And he like doesn't understand why she's saying no.
Yeah.
Like he's
the
obviously
best.
someone, like he's obviously someone that's like no one's ever said no to him before.
No.
So he just doesn't understand consent.
But that's it as well. And he keeps saying like, "Oh, you think you're better than everyone, but I'm better than everyone. We're better than all of them." And it's like,
Yeah.
the fuck is this guy? What a dickhead.
Yeah, really
this-
weird.
yeah.
Psychopath behavior, like
So this
straight
is it,
away.
yeah. And then when you do find out his family history, you're like, you don't feel sorry for him because you're like, he is a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, you don't. There's like, as we said before, there's like no redeemingness about him whatsoever.
No, not at all. Move a little bit.
Yeah. But moving on to more wholesome things. Apparently before shooting began, Alan Tudyk, who played
Tucker.
he played Tucker, and Tyler Labine, apparently they like spent a lot of time with each other. They kind of just started like bonding with each other and hanging out just so they could like form a real bond like on screen, which I think is so cute. And I think they reunited in Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency several years later, whatever that is. If anyone knows it, let us know.
Have not seen that.
No. But yeah, Alan Tudyk, I realized, has been in quite a lot of shit. Like I recognized him, and then I Wikipedia'd him, and I was like, I've seen loads of shit with him in.
Dodgeball,
Yeah.
off the top of my head. Pirate Steve. Fucking, I can't think off the top of my head now. He's the
Knight's
fucking
Tale?
chicken from. Oh yeah, he's in Knight's Tale. He's the chicken from Moana.
I went to Juilliard.
Which is
That's it. Classic.
hilarious that they actually, yeah, anyway, fucking
They actually hired like a well-known actor to be the chicken.
to be the chicken and make a noise.
Yeah.
And yeah, that fucking cracked me up.
That was weird.
Yeah, no, he's done loads, but he is one of those who will just keep popping up in things, and you're like, I'm sorry, he what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
And but I thought
No.
that was really sweet that like they kind of made an effort to get to know each other beforehand. And I think it probably did help in the film, because although I didn't know that, I don't know, like I really loved their relationship on screen. And I don't think that comes from nowhere. Like you do have to, I mean, obviously, like if you're a really good actor and you hate each other, then you probably can get away with it. But I do really feel like, you know, like in Cabin in the Woods, like the two workers, like
Bradley
everyone.
Whitford and Richard Jenkins.
Thank you very much.
No, you're good.
Yes, yeah, I just like that you could probably tell like they really got on in real life as well.
Yeah.
Like there was some sort of, I don't know, they just had really good chemistry, and I feel like it was the same with these two. So
No, you're right. You could. There felt like a like brotherly bond already there, especially when like the
Yeah.
opening scene is him like cleaning beer off his crotch, and there was no like hesitation. They were just like, "Oh, I'll help you out," and it was just like you're like, "Yeah, they're definitely like friends." Like you really believed that relationship.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was cute.
I also really love the shot of when like the kids were driving and then they just pass Tucker and Dale, and they're kind of Tucker and Dale kind of glaring at them, but
Yeah.
they're not. Like I feel like I can relate to this because they probably have resting bitch faces like I do. When I'm like, I promise I'm a nice person, but I will look at you like I hate you. And I'm trying to work on it, and Tell knows this.
I think it's great. We don't call it resting bitch face. It's model
I promise
face.
I'm nice.
It's
So I
model
can
face.
relate to Tucker and Dale by being like, yeah, I mean, we got a Photoshop, maybe a picture of me glaring in the truck with Tucker and Dale, for fuck's sake. Like,
But this is the other thing. I think again, it's one of those where it's like movie perspective. Because again, if that had been a rom-com, there would have been happy music playing, there would have been a wink. Because it's a horror, it was like darker music. And that's the thing. But from Tucker and Dale's perspective, seeing them drive past, it was just a fun, fancy-free rom-com movie.
that's so true.
So that's the really funny thing to me is like, what I see the other day, where it's like the difference between a horror movie and an action film is how prepared the main characters are. I was like, it's so, and that is literally it. It's like you change the soundtrack and you change the character like preparedness, and it can be a completely different film. This, yeah, I
That's
mean,
so fucking true.
so from I was gonna say Tyler Labine, that's not his character. Dale and Tucker's perspective, this was just, you know, they were on spring break. They were like, yeah, this is party time.
Yeah, they just happened to look at the people next to them who were driving and just kind of like, oh, okay, that you're them and we're us.
Yeah.
And it's all good.
Right.
Whereas they were like, oh my God, who are these? That's so funny. So they probably all had like sunshine, lollipops, and yeah.
Yeah. Whereas and it was
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
and that was great.
That's
What
so
did you
funny.
I kind of love the addition that Alison was like, I want to be a therapist, sorry, a counselor. But it was like, because I think people just need to communicate. And then she was the one at the petrol station, gas station, who was like, that's scary. And then she tries it later and she's just like, I'm a terrible therapist.
I think it's when is it when she looks in the burnt down cabin and she just it's a really good line from Katrina Bowden, actually. She delivers it perfectly and she's just like, I'm terrible it's almost like all the whole realization.
I'm a terrible therapist.
What? No.
Because I think what's so great about this film is like what your point about the line, like everyone's kind of stupid but kind of lovable in a stupid way. Like no one is really like that smart.
No.
Or like I thought maybe at first Alison would be kind of like the smart one, but even she, like, you know, she's so naive in that she's trying to sit these two people down and talk to them about, you know, like in a therapy way.
Let's talk about our feelings. It's like they just tried to kill each other, not the time. But I think that's it, is that everyone's just trying their best. No one's that smart, because even though they are doing like degrees, and as Dale says, like, oh, you're college smart, it's still like they're at college, they're still learning. Like they're not qualified doctors yet. Like she's not a qualified therapist. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. And it's just like, it's not a great sign that my first therapy session ends in fire.
And someone dying, the other one dying.
But I have to go back to therapy. That's why I want my therapist to have a poster of that on the wall. Otherwise, I just don't feel we're going to vibe.
No. But yeah, you're right. Like, I think, you know, it's so often in slashers, you know, the final girl is so on it and like thinks of all these things that maybe like a person in real life wouldn't. And sometimes it gets to the point where it's like, how would they know to do that? Like, if it was real life, you would be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you would definitely, you would think you're a fucking Ripley, but we're all going to be Alisons if we were all in slashers. Like, you know, maybe not trying to therapize them, but like certainly kind of the naiveness and kind of thinking, well, what the fuck am I going to do here? Like, we all think we're going to be Sydney and Nancy, but really, like,
really, we're just trying our best. I think as well, especially for this, is Alison is very clearly falling for Dale. And now all of a sudden her friends are trying to kill him. He's getting pissed off. And I think it's that where she's like, I think that's why she wants to do the therapy, is she's like, no, I need my friends to see that he's a good guy because I'm crushing on him. And I need him to think my friends are good because otherwise he's going to wonder what the fuck's wrong with me. So I think she's just like desperately trying to be like, look, it's all, because again, if she was never going to see Dale again, why would she have wanted? I mean, like, look, I'm really sorry. Thank you for all you've done. I'm going to go with my friends now. We'll be safe. We'll leave you alone. But because she wanted to keep in touch with Dale, she was trying to make that extra effort. And I was just like, this is so fucking funny. Because it's just like not going to go well when your friends are psycho.
No, that's really true. And I think she was kind of trying up until the point where everyone died and the jock was the only one left. And he was obviously the bad guy. So she was like, right, fuck it at this point. Like, we've got to go after him.
Yeah. No, it's going to be on. What did you make of the suicide/deaths? Accidental suicides.
Accidental. So what did we have?
Well, they were, because they weren't murders.
They were murders. Yeah, they were accidents.
They were horrible accidents. And again, they set it up so well that you could absolutely see why Tucker and Dale did not want to call the police.
Oh, for sure.
But also, like how would you have explained that? Like, oh, he tripped and fell into my wood chipper. Oh, he slipped and fell into the hole and
Yeah, the wood chipper one I think was possibly my favorite, just because of the whole kind of like, it was almost like a I don't know, like a comedy sketch, or like the fact that, you know, he was holding this guy's legs, like and then obviously then they were both trying to get this guy out and all was left was just a pair of legs.
It's when they turn it off and he's just like, are you okay?
Are you okay?
It really reminded me of Shaun of the Dead when he runs over that guy and he's like, are you all right?
Are you all right?
Oh, it's too good.
It's too good. I think that's the scene I remember from when I first watched the film. So it was like the iconic wood chipper scene.
But apparently when they were shooting it and then they were like pulling the legs out, they were like, oh, actually, like the bit of him falling on the floor and then the legs getting dragged over Dale's head, that was like on the day he thought of, like between the director and him. And then they were like, he was like, yeah, go on then, and like laid down and drags the legs over him. And I was like, this is brilliant.
Out of a wood chipper the other day and we pulled just a torso out and Eli was like, you know what we gotta do? You fall down with the torso on your face and then we'll drag the bloody torso over your face and it'd be really funny. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. You know, got some blood and guts and little bits of cracked bone in my mouth.
Oh my God, it was so good.
It's so good.
It was like a comedy sketch watching that. Like it was so good.
I just think that one was so good because of how well it was timed, because you could see him like getting ready and then he was like, okay, now, and then just absolutely fucked it. And it was like, you had one chance and you fucked it all.
I think the sum up to this film is you had one job.
You would, yeah. You had one job and no. But again, it's really hard because they were just trying to save their friends.
That's literally all they were doing. Yeah. So it's so difficult because the only like bad guy in this was the jock. I mean, rest of them, they were you know, like I keep calling him the jock. He was called Chad.
Yeah.
But
Chad. Of course he was
Chad.
called Chad.
Of course he was called Chad. What else was he going to be called? But yeah.
It's too funny where it was just that, where it was like,
what else did we have? You had I love the bit where they come and see her and then she's digging. She's like, yeah, I can make a shit house hole, or I can dig whatever it was she says. And then her friends see and they're like, oh my God, they're making her dig her own grave.
Sick fuck, he's making her dig her own grave.
Like, I forgot how funny this was. So I love that bit. And then they obviously fall in because somehow Alison just keeps getting knocked out. Like, I love the helmet bit at the end. I was like, that's fucking genius.
It's so cute.
And then he jumps in, but he has like a spear and then he lands on his own spear.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the other bit where he's running, the guy with the bee allergy, and he's running alongside Tucker. And they kind of look at each other slow-mo with the chainsaw. And then he runs straight into a branch. I think those are the only three. Yeah. Until Chad later.
I think the scene probably that made me laugh the most was the bee sting scene. The fact that, like, you know, Tucker had like absolutely no control over his chainsaw, and then at the same time was running away from all these bees.
It was just so good because it was like literally that line when he came out. I was like, I saw your friends out there. I think you must be terrified of bees.
Yeah, just clueless.
So innocent. And then his face was all fucked up. It was just so well done. That was the other one, was the police officer with a beam swung into him.
Oh yes, yeah.
And again, it was like, these are just horrible accidents, and it's like, and then obviously it happens to him. You're like, for fuck's sake, you guys didn't stand a chance.
Well, he was like, the police officer was fucking on it. Like, he saw this very shady scene and was like, right, like, I need to investigate this.
Yeah.
So he was kind of the only one that was sort of like, well, obviously he was incorrect, you know, that wasn't what he was saying, but, you know, anyone would walk into that scene and be like, right, these two have clearly killed all of these, you know, these kids. So he was the only one really that was kind of like, yeah, like, I think I've got something here. And then he just dies in the most stupid way.
And that's the thing, but like, even though he now is like, oh my God, this was an accident, all the ones in the car don't know that.
So he walks out with that, like, the wood on his face, and everyone's like, oh my God, they killed him.
Yeah. And there's fuck all he can do about that. Like, that's just how it looks. And it's like, wonderful. This is actually my favorite thing. But yeah, so I actually think the SFX did really well. I think like that one looked a little bit, I think just because, again, the way we see it didn't look too bad, even though it was like in his head. But I just think, yeah, they must have had so much fun with the SFX on this. I was just looking, and it was I don't know if it's Jason Paradis or Paradise. It's like Paradise without the E. But he was the special effects coordinator, and then he had a couple of people, obviously, as assistants and stuff. And of course, I've now just lost the other name. And he also had Sharon Tui, who was the key makeup artist and also listed as special effects makeup and the makeup department head. So again, there's a lot of other people listed as like key hairstylist, key makeup artist, first makeup assistant. So there's a lot of people just like involved, hands-on, but probably between those two kind of like doing the majority or like helping design, I guess. But yeah, I just thought it was, just lots of blood and guts and just ridiculousness.
Yeah, so much ridiculousness, like an insane amount. It's crazy. Like there was just so much blood. And yeah, and as you say, it was also like it was pretty gory as well. So, and that's obviously what you're looking for in a slasher, like with Cabin in the Woods, like it's a funny slasher. Well, way more than a slasher film, but there is also a lot of like guts and blood and guts and stuff in it as well. So I think that's definitely important to have. Like, however funny the film is, it still is a slasher, so you do want like some good gore in there.
But again, like we were watching this laughing because we were like, oh, he just threw himself into a wood chipper. But had this been Cabin in the Woods, Evil Dead, had that happened in one of those films, it would have been a very different tune. It would have been very different music, very different setup. And we'd have been like, that's so fucked up. This is so dark. And instead, because it was like a light, cheery film, we're pissing ourselves laughing at a guy throwing himself in a wood chipper. And we're like, this is so well done, though, that you just had that mentality. Like, it was brilliant. I thought it was
I think it's because you had the backstory of it, so you knew that like these people were just like trying to save their friend and not knowing that these other guys were fine.
Yeah.
And I think because you had the context of the scene, it was just so fucking funny.
Yeah. And it was one of those, you're like, I feel really bad that you've just done that, but why did you just do that? Like, why? And again, I don't know what you do in that situation. Like, do you hope that they're not malicious and you knock on the door? Do you call? I'd probably have called the police and been like, hey, we can't find our friend. We think she's with these guys. Can you come with us?
Yeah.
But like, it's one of those, isn't it, where knocking on the door might be scary because, again, like stranger danger. But also, they just knocked on the door.
Yeah. And from their perspective, like the kids' perspective, it's like, fuck that shit. I'm not going in there. Like, they are like hillbilly, probably cannibal, you know, they're going to try and hack us to pieces. Like, I'm not fucking going in there. So from their perspective, I completely get it because it's like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, no. What did you make of Tucker being captured and hung upside down? And
I was kind of sad when I saw him because he's just so great, Tucker. But also, I don't know, it was good. I think it was like different because as we were saying at the beginning, like Tucker is seen as a slightly more kind of responsible one, the one that's a bit more kind of headstrong than Dale. And then like you see him in more of like a vulnerable situation. You think, okay, well, Dale's got to be the one to save the day now. So I thought that was kind of an interesting like change of kind of characterization. And also it was just a fun scene. Like they bonded a bit and like he was just like, yeah, you got to go get your girl and stuff. So I thought it was nice.
I thought that was nice, but I also love how Chad's just like, I've never been this close to evil.
I've never stood so close to pure evil before.
Or something. And again, I think like Tucker's like, you're evil. Like he can't. I still don't think he realizes that they think he's evil. Because I think at that point he's seeing him as evil. Or it might be completely wrong, but again, when you're hung upside down and blood's going to your head, like if he even knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I thought it was good seeing him, as you say, like him captured and Dale having to step up. I thought it was a good turn.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Very much enjoyable.
Very enjoyable. And the scene, obviously, when he's hung up, like you're upside down with him, which I thought was quite a nice little camera angle as well for the film.
No, I did like that actually. Yeah.
It's good. So good.
Oh, that's a point. What did you think of? Obviously, we have mentioned a bit about Chad getting taken down the end. One, fucking how close Allison's definitely was. And also Chad getting taken out by fucking chamomile tea.
That was pretty funny because Chad was giving it this like big, you know, bad villain, like tough guy, like thing this entire time. And then he's like, actually, you know, like chamomile tea can really fuck with my asthma. So I thought that was a really funny, like just a stupid little thing to add in, but really funny.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was just a little smooth, like you can be brought down with a tea bag. But so it's just really, we haven't seen that before, I don't think. But it's also when he came out of the cabin, like with half a face on fire and just inhale. And I was like, they're really, really enjoying this.
Yeah, they're enjoying this too much. I thought that was really good. It was a
Yeah.
nice little addition to have for that character to have because it was
Yeah.
just so stupid.
I like how close they left it with Alison, but I was also like, had that axe though not worked, fuck, she was dead.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it was very
fucking
much like, yeah, it was very close, but I think at that point it kind of had to be because it was just kind of like, we kind of knew that, like, you know, Tucker and Dale were going to win at the end, but
yeah,
you did need a bit of like tenseness in the film as well, because a lot of it was kind of like fun and you were on their side, but
yeah, sure.
I guess you needed the film to be like, this is a bit touch and go. But yeah,
To
it
be
was very
fair-
fucking lucky.
To be fair, it's Tucker and Dale, not Tucker, Dale, and Alison, so we didn't need her to survive.
That's true. Oh, would you do that to Dale?
No, he was very cute and happy. But that does bring us nicely on to would we survive? And I'm assuming we can't be Alison in this. Are we putting ourselves as the friends? Or are we Tucker and Dale? Because Alison obviously survives.
Let's be Tucker and Dale.
Okay, let's be Tucker and Dale.
There's two of us.
Are we going to survive?
Yes. We've watched enough horror films. You know I was saying before that, you know, when you watch films, you like to think you're Ripley, you know, or whatever. But I think we'd be good. I think with both of our knowledge of horror films and the slasher traits, I think we'd be good.
I also think, as we said, like Tucker and Dale were like, oh, this is a rom-com holiday vacation film. You and me turning up to a cabin in the woods, immediately we'd be like, this is a horror.
Yeah.
So as soon as we saw the college kid, as soon as we saw anything, we'd be very clear on our communication. We'd be on the phone to the police. I think we'd be okay, because we'd be like, right, we have your friend. She's safe. She's fine. She knocked herself out. Like, we'd be very good at actually communicating what had happened.
Yeah, definitely. I think like, we would be like, this is so cool, this is a cabin in the woods, like this is our jam, like we're gonna, you know, watch horror films, you know, do whatever, like do all the things that, you know, people in horror films do, and then, so I think we'd have enough knowledge to defeat the bad guy.
I think our main problem would be that is if we did have someone and their friends are trying to find them, we'd probably be watching a horror film. So all they'd hear from the outside would be screaming, and we wouldn't even think twice about why that was a problem.
Yeah, we would just be like, yeah, it's part of the film, whatever.
It's fine. Your friend's fine. They've got popcorn.
Like, definitely. I think, we'd probably be naive for that reason.
Yeah, the other reason, but I don't know. What do you mean I'm trying to kill your friend? Why would I do that? Amazing. And what was your favorite spooky moment and spookies out of 5 for our final film of the season?
Final. I'm gonna say the bee sting scene, because it was just so fucking funny with the chainsaw. It was just so good, and I loved it. And I'm gonna give it 3.5 spookies out of 5. I thought it was really, really good. I would watch it. It's definitely a pizza party film, I think. And I just thought it was great. I guess maybe it doesn't go that high up because it doesn't kind of go on my list of, like, you know, top 5 like kind of horror films to watch like all the time, but I do think that I think it's really decent, and I think everyone should give it a go. But yeah, what about you?
I think I'm going to go with the wood chipper / impaling scene. Like, all of that just happened so quickly. It was so chaotic. I love Tucker's reaction, just like, are you okay? And then, like, inside, just like, something's wrong with your friends. Like, they're trying to kill themselves. I think it was so well done, so funny. And I think it just really kind of brought the horror into the comedy. I think I'm going to give it a 4, actually. Like, again, I think I'd save my 5 for like my top 5, top 10s.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this one. I forgot how much I enjoyed it. Like you said, I think it's pizza party. I think you can put it on kind of any time of year. Yeah, and just really enjoy it. And I think it's just ridiculous enough, and it's just clever enough and just funny and dark enough that it really works.
Nice.
So I'm going to go with a 4.
Sweet.
Amazing. That was our final episode of this season 9. We will be back So keep an eye on our socials to know when, to know what we're coming back with, and to just keep up with us in the meantime. Until then, we'll see you on the socials. But do subscribe, like, share, comment, all that lovely stuff that feeds our ego. So until then, bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't
die. We'll nail it. We'll do better in season 10, we promise, guys.
So thought we had it.